Good morning. Happy Motivation Monday. This is Jessica Prater from J Prater Consulting, here bringing you another coffee chat for your Monday morning. Are you looking for a powerful and kind-hearted way to sell your services? Does the thought of sales feel icky or stress you out? Imagine if there were a better way to invite the right people to work with you that eliminated all the awkwardness. You may be a self-proclaimed introvert, or you may be somebody that's not comfortable with selling. That was me 9 months ago, and I brought Renee Hribar into my business to learn a little bit more about sales. And I can tell you guys wholeheartedly, it changed the way that I thought about my business. Renee has sold millions of dollars of products and services for companies both large and small. As a hired gun, training and leading sales teams, she has brought her company online to teach thousands more how to sell like a mother. And hey guys, this is an important conversation because there's a lot that we dig into here. We talk about the motivation that Renee had to start her business. We also talk about what drives Renee as she continues to grow and scale her business. And guys, she's a mover and shaker in the internet world right now. And we're also going to talk about the power of community. I hope you guys will join me for this very special conversation with Renee Hribar. Good morning, Renee. How are you this morning?
Good morning, Jessica.
Welcome to Motivation Monday Coffee Chats. And so if you and I were getting together and having coffee at your local coffee shop, what would you be ordering?
I always order an Americano, unless it's the afternoon, and then it's a doppio, which is just a double shot.
I've never even heard of a doppio. You're fancy.
Double shot of espresso, baby. Don't give me all that. Don't waste my time. Give me the rocket fuel straight.
I love it. And I love your mug. We're recording this around Mother's Day, so this is absolutely perfect. We got some fun mugs going on this morning. So Renee, if I were to ask you the question, what motivates you in your business? What does that look like for you?
Yeah, so two things. The first and initial thing was something that's personal and only I care about, and that is how I show up in my family, right? So like many of the people that I work with, I have a long career in a very specific field. And then something happened in my life. It took us 12 years to have my son, our son, I say mine, like I mean my husband was involved, is involved. Poor guy. I don't give him enough credit. So when we had our child, finally, after like 12 years of trying, everything stopped. So at the point when that happened, I was a partner, a third of a company, a beverage company. I sold my part, and I was like, I'm just gonna be mommy. And so we readjusted everything, our schedules, our finances, and I was mommy for 3 years. But then re-entering the workforce when he was ready for preschool, the initial thing that motivated me was I want to show up and be present. I want to be here, because in the past, working in the sales industry meant FaceTime with people, meant client facing, and it wasn't Zoom, and it wasn't video, and it was really and even now, a lot of local businesses are still not accustomed to dealing with people on a video level. So that being said, that initial motivation was I want to show up for my family. And then when I came online, I realized I wasn't the only one. So I came online to help people that wanted to learn sales strategies and emotional intelligence that goes along with sales. And I found a whole community of women that had the same internal motivation that I did to come online, because my biggest question was, how do I use these skills that I have that I love doing, but not work for somebody else necessarily? Because you and I both know, especially with your background, that flex time that they give us isn't really like that. It's not as attractive as it should be. So there wasn't a lot of room for remote or flex time opportunities in my field. So I looked for what is the other way. That was my initial motivation. Coming online, I was like, there is a better way. And now I'm motivated by sharing that with other people. And I'm not just excited about the women that I get to work with, but the stories of their kids and the stories of their date nights and their weekends away that now they have the flexibility to do. Now they only have to work around one schedule, and that's, their husband's schedule. or their kids' schedule. They don't have to work around also theirs. Like, they are in control of their own schedules. So that is my huge motivation every day. So thanks for asking.
Absolutely. And I have to tell you guys, full disclosure, I have worked with Renee one-on-one. I have to say, working with Renee has been one of the most transformative experiences of my business. But Renee, you said something really interesting a second ago. You talked about the idea of community. And I want you to talk about, how does community build your motivation?
Okay, so I think that I am not alone in this, but I work better in a positive social environment. Mm-hmm. So when I made the choice to work online, that meant I was working in my house, yes, alone. If my child was at preschool and my husband was at work and now my child's in first grade, that meant I was alone in the house with my dogs. So I sought that same positive social involvement. I still enjoyed the by the water cooler type of conversations. Yeah. So I created a community online in a Facebook group. It's called Entrepreneurial Parents Movement. And I don't just talk about what I do. I talk about all the things that happen in my life all the time. And I'm not alone, So some days, like today, was all about batch cooking. And like, everybody's got an idea. There's hundreds of women in there that are going through the same thing. They're thinking the same things, that all have pieces of the conversation to add to the conversation. And so just that one topic, and go through, when my son lost his first front tooth, I was like, what's the going rate for the tooth fairy? Because I had no idea. My brother was giving out 20. I'm not doing that. Yeah. So the community is so vital, because I think it feeds our soul, and it helps us know that we're not alone. It helps us know that we're on the right track. It helps us, have a place to kind of, when we need to, and laugh and celebrate together. It's huge. It's huge for me, and I think for a lot of other women.
Absolutely. And I'm following that thread, by the way, on batch cooking, because #life. And we enjoy living in the country. We do have to cook a lot. And so, very valuable for me as well. So Renee, the question that I think of, particularly for you, you talk about your motivation in the beginning. You talk about growing and scaling your business. As somebody that's looking on the outside of your business, and also a former or customer of yours, I think about the idea of how fast you're growing. And so thinking about what's next, you're doing a lot of big things on Planet Internet. You're doing a lot of things with conferences, speaking, you're showing up a lot of places. What motivates you for the next stage of your business?
Yeah. So when I first came online, I thought, okay, I'm just going to hang up my shingle, and I'm just going to, work a couple hours. Like, I couldn't even imagine carving out like 5 hours a week. I was like, I don't even know when I'm going to do that, because I'm already, I didn't have like a job outside of the house for those first 3 years. And I was like, I don't even know how it's going to work. So I had to take it little by little. So to answer your question, what motivates me now to grow and scale? I know that there's other women out there that are feeling the same way, that have loads of skills and expertise that they absolutely could add to the world in such a positive way. And so now my question is, how can I connect with them and connect them and to what they want, like plug them in? How can I reach them and not sell to them, but like, how can I reach them and plug them in so that they can decide on their own path? And since I'm not afraid to go live, and like, I love talking, because I've been in front of strangers my whole life, talking. That's what my whole career has been. Yeah. And at 45, nearly 46 years old now, I've spent, over 20 years doing that. So I feel comfortable getting live, and I feel like that is my method, my vehicle to say, hey guys, I'm just like you, and here's what I've discovered, and like, check it out. And whether I'm the person that's going to answer your immediate questions, or I'm just your tour guide, I'm happy to be the first one to introduce you to this amazing world that is right, literally, it's in everybody's pocket.
Yeah. Absolutely. And I think the beautiful thing, and we've had a lot of conversations about this offline, but the beautiful thing is it's an equal opportunity playing field. You're in the Midwest. I'm in the South. We have folks that we work with internationally. It's the great leveling tool to make sure everybody are bringing their skills to each other. So I know for me personally, that is something that's really exciting to me, because here in rural Tennessee, I have the opportunity to use my skills and abilities just like somebody in a major metropolitan area.
Right. Absolutely. And it's so exciting. And if I want to wake up early, I can have clients in the UK, or if I want to go to bed late, I can have clients in New Zealand. Or if I want to work just my regular hours, traditional hours on the Eastern Seaboard, then I can have clients, in 10 states.
Yeah.
So without having to have an office space with still deciding how many hours per week I'm willing to put in.
Yeah. And you're an early bird, Renee. For those of you that have seen Renee, what time do you get up in the morning?
Well, okay, so I do wake up about 4 a.m., but it's because that's when my family wakes up. So my husband is in a position where he's in law enforcement, and so he gets up at 4. So he's up anyway. And so it's my chance to kind of spend time with him, and then my son wakes up at 6, and so based on my family, I get up at 4, but I work until about 1 or 2. But in the summer, I'll probably cut that back to about 11.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think it's so interesting, Renee, because, everybody has a little bit of a different schedule. But I think to myself, when I see your schedule, I think, man, what gets her out of bed at 4 o'clock in the morning? I need some of that because I'm still way asleep at 4 o'clock in the morning.
Well, here's the other thing, right? So my husband gets home and he has to, kind of decompress from his day.
Yeah.
And then my son is, he's 7. So he goes to bed early too. So everybody we're all asleep by like 9:30.
Yeah.
The latest.
Yeah.
So I think that's what helps us get up early. So it's the same schedule. It's just shifted a little bit. So it's not the super motivation as much as just I have to remember my initial motivation, which is I want to be present, alive and awake while my family is here, so that I can, be the woman, I worked so hard to have that kid.
Yeah. Yes.
I don't want to miss a minute of his Pokemon stories or his, Star Wars ideas, or he always writes these little notes. I got them all over there. So that's why I'm willing to, that's my motivation.
Yeah. What a beautiful motivation, and what a beautiful story for people as well as they continue on with their business, not only where your motivation starts, but where your motivation continues to grow as you scale. And it changes as goals change. So I absolutely love that you shared that with us this morning, Renee. Thank you. So tell us, I know everybody, and I can't emphasize this enough. If you're not following Renee, go do it. It doesn't matter what industry you're in. You can absolutely use, even if you're not in sales, you can absolutely use what Renee shares in her group. Again, batch cooking, a little bit of everything. We get real in that group. But Renee, tell everybody where they can find you on Planet Internet.
Yeah, the best and most central place, no matter where you're coming in from, is my website. And so I have one of those last names that you're like, what? So let me spell it out, and I'm sure you put a link in the notes here, but it's www.renee, Renee, Hribar. It's Hribar. The H is silent. Don't ask. I tried for years to literally, we were married for 7 years, and I tried to get my husband to change to my maiden name. He's not having it. So this was I married into this name, ReneeHribar.com. Check it out there. There's all kinds of great resources no matter where you are in business. And if you're in business, you need to make sales. You can live without a lot of things, but you can't live without new customers. So check it out. Thanks.
All right. Thank you for your time, Renee, and have a wonderful Monday.
Woo-hoo. Thanks, Jessica.